Not loving these either, especially since there's a scratch in them. Good morning, Pickles. Good morning, Thrifting A. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm not talking loudly. Spidey Jordans. Good morning, True North Collectibles. How are you? Nietzsche, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn. These also have spots all over. Indigo Health, good morning. How are you? I'm torn. I'm torn between glasses. This has been my morning. I can't decide. Natural state of hi, good morning. How is everybody doing? Okay, I'm gonna pull up um how many of you, I totally forgot yesterday that there was another Whatnot Sellers show, and then I got alerted to it. Thank you, Whatnot, for alerting me to when I bookmark things. And so I managed to get in and see most of the show, but I forgot to do a pop up to go into it because I'm special. I'm very special. Yeah. So just so everyone knows, Whatnot has a YouTube channel, Whatnot app. So if you look for Whatnot, you're going to get tons of stuff. But if you search for Whatnot app, all one word, you'll be able to find the Whatnot channel. And then they have a playlist that is Whatnot Sellers. And that's how you can rewatch. Now, it might take some time before they have that show up because it's not automatically like live feeding to there. But skaboom. Good morning. So it may take a couple of days before they put it on, but it was really good. And Tom from product, who's like the head of product development, he he laid down some hints about stuff that's coming down the pipe that's very exciting, that's like being tested now. One of the things that he said is that they are currently testing in a couple of countries, including Australia. They are testing multiple day bundling. What does that mean? That means if you do 3 shows in 7 days, your buyer can choose to wait and have, instead of having, if you have 3 shows in 7 days and you have the same buyers, they're like shipping 3 times, right? You're shipping to that person 3 times. But with multi-show bundling, you could do a show and then the next day you could do another show and all of the stuff from that show will get bundled into that person's box. True North Collectibles, it will be so effing huge for Canadians. Good morning, Shop with Tasha. Good morning, Jules by Shaw's. Good morning, Jude's Closet. Good morning, East Ender Resales and Kelly Irish and Little Big Town. Good morning. So, Natural State of High says, whoa, this would be so appreciated by our customers. It'll be freaking huge. So it's coming. Did I get another call? Don't call me. I'm too busy to answer phone calls. Good morning. So that's one of the things that that he said is coming. It's coming. It's being tested right now. So it might be. I immediately said, um, yeah, it's something that's coming. It's so it will mean it's going to be a big deal for Canadian sellers because a lot of Canadian sellers, um, geez, Claude, we're just talking about the Whatnot Sellers show that was yesterday with Tom from product development. He's the head of product development, and he said that they're currently testing in a couple of countries. I think he said 3 countries, at least 2. One of them being Australia, which is his home country. Um, they are they're testing right now multi-day bundling, which means that if a buyer buys in multiple shows, your multiple of your own shows in a week, you can put it into one box. So I assume it's going to be an option for sellers as opposed to automatic, but that'll be interesting to see. I will definitely say yes to it. It'll make a huge difference. Yes, you only pay that first big shipping once, and then maybe when your box gets like too big, it might unbundle. For some of us, it might be a little bit of an issue because if it bundles too much. So hopefully there are some options for how much bundling it allows, because like there are sometimes when I do shows and someone will buy like 40 things and that has to go into one humongous box. And if my next show payments will be longer, East End resales, you're right. So as far as I know, it will. I I don't know all the details, but I assume that it would be something that would be an option for sellers that they could say, I do bundling. It would also mean that if someone bought in your show and then that night they bought in your marketplace too, that that would all bundle together. It's going to mean more people buying in your shows because if they already have an open box, they can just keep filling that open box all week. And it'll encourage a lot of us to do more shows, right? Because like we can say, hey, I'm going to do a show. If I say I'm doing a show every morning and I'm going to unbox 3 boxes. Now, if I only unbox 3 boxes, that's probably my limit right now with my health. If I can do it as a but where you can bundle and just, every morning just come in, check out what I've got. If you like something, add it to your box, right? Buy it, it goes in your box. At the end of the week, I say, okay, box is done. This is my last show for this week. This will be the last chance. Anybody want anything else? Because I'm going to be shipping out, right? I think it's going to be pretty freaking amazing. I think it's actually going to be really good for Canadian sellers, especially because shipping is always the big thing that people balk at. I think it's going to make a difference too for even Pokemon sellers. Skaboom says, because if I'm streaming till let's say 2 p.m. and it's 1:30, they don't want to pay shipping. Yeah. So if you finished one show and then you start a new show, people don't want to pay for shipping multiple times. Yes, Yard Yeller. You were in the show. You were in the show when he said that they're testing it in Australia and Germany and somewhere else. People will definitely buy more. You're totally right, Eastern resales. Holland girl, hello. So it's like I am so excited because it will make a huge difference. So I did like say, hey Tom, pick Canada next. Test it in Canada next. Skaboom, you're gonna have to why do you sell on your stream? What do you mean by that? Can you give me more? What do I sell on my stream? On this stream, it's a community chat, so I'm teaching and helping people. So I sell bubkiss. I do sometimes I load my store, but I'm not feeling well right now, so I'm not I'm don't really want to ship out to you some pottery and that sort of thing. So this is a community chat show. I do them every morning and community shows. Um, yeah, typically, I always recommend you have something in your buy it now, but I just really can't ship right now. Can't ship. Little Big Town says I have a lot of bubkiss. Yes, that's right. I because these shows are not for profit. These shows that I do, I make no profit whatsoever. Zero. Negative probably if you think about my time spent, but that's okay. I'm here because I love you guys. Okay, let me pull speaking of which, this stuff is not actually for sale, but this is the only way that I can pin stuff to talk about. So let me import. Cup W tariff. Next. True. I didn't get a chance to do this. By the way, I'm doing it these ways. Kim does these shows because she loves us. I do these shows because I love you guys. Yard Yeller says that would be awesome to schedule shipping once a week. Yeah, I think it would. I for some of us. So for me personally, if I could do that and know I could do multiple shows and then have like one shipping day, um, I could then hire somebody for like 2 days, just those 2 days, right? And then I could do shorter shows instead of big long shows that make me crash out. Because to be honest, like I am gone when I do like a 6 hour show. That's like all my energy done. Skaboom says, I'm a Pokemon streamer, so saying it will be big for us is great. It's going to be huge. I think it's going to be huge for cards because one of the problems with in Canada with cards is that people may want just like one single card, but they don't want to pay $15 to get that card shipped to them. But if they know that you have an open box and it's open for like 7 days, you'll keep coming back to fill up your box. It's also going to encourage repeat customers, people to come in and buy more because they know their shipping's already broken. Um, Indigo Health says, seems like we would need more storage space. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, if you want some storage space, I have some storage lockers I need to empty. So same with bullion. Yes. People don't want to pay money for just that shipping because they're trying to just get like a couple of things, but they will think of it an open box for like a week. So anyways, so that is hopefully coming down the pipeline soon. Oh, is it active? It is active. Okay. And then one more thing I have to import and then I will shut up. Resources. Here you go. I'll add some stuff into my buy it now because I can. Resources. Oh, there's a harvest goose that for some reason has resources in it. There it is. Done. Import 10 items. Um Okay, so Holland Girl says, does it seem correct that jewelry orders from the US are being charged 60% steel tariff duty? So yeah, so it's it's double duty. Yeah, I said duty. So it's like tariffs plus tax, tariffs plus your duties, then taxes on top of that. So yeah, unfortunately, um jewelry buyers, clothing buyers don't buy from the states right now. The reciprocal tariffs or the retaliatory tariffs are a pain in the bum in your shop or in yeah. In so if anybody is not aware, whenever if you go into somebody's show and you see something that you're interested in, you can click on that little button. Sorry, my nails are not clean. You can click on that little icon, and then that will that will alert you when somebody runs it as an auction or they pin it. I think you can also do it in the buy it now. Yeah, you can also do it in the buy it now so you can get alerted when, say, somebody pins it or somebody runs it as auction or they run a flash sale. So if I was to run a flash sale, you'd get alerted. So for my chat shows, what I do is I will chat about each thing and I will put a little why is the oh there's the cup W. So if you want to get alerted when I talk about a particular topic, you don't want to know every single time, or sometimes I will pin this particular one before I start my show. And then did we get a whole bunch of eggs? Woohoo! Congratulations, everyone. Um, so Lavishelle, hi, how are you? Okay, how are you doing? I'm not doing great, to be honest. Calwin, good morning. So you can just tap on and encourage your own people that are in your room, your folks, to save their favorite things. Like if you have something that you run all the time, like books or whatever, you can say, hey, if you ever want to get alerted the next time I'm going to run some books, make sure that you bookmark, because you will get a notice. These ants today, ants are everywhere. You will get alerted. The box size went down again. The box size was fine for me. Maybe it's you. Oh no. 4 by 4 by 4 centimeters. That's Are they drunk? Or 4 by 4 by 4 inches? Inches. Yeah, that's the 10 centimeter thing. That better not be sticking. That better. I still have not received an answer. If you're listening right now, I miss the other person who answered me. Just saying. I'm sorry. I know you're busy. And maybe you don't want to tell me bad news, but somebody's got to answer. So I am going to have to message support. So anybody who sees that they got 10 inches, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters now, um, yeah, no, it's not okay. No matter what, Peacock, even your 6 by 6 by 6 inch boxes are too big because 15 centimeters is slightly less than 6 inches. So make sure you measure in centimeters. I did that. I bought a bunch of 6 inch by something inch by something inch boxes. And then, yeah. So measure it in centimeters, measure everything in centimeters to keep yourself safe. So dear Whatnot, and Peacock, you need to message Whatnot and say, why has our box size gone down? It's hard enough as it is to do shipping with 15 centimeters because we get adjustments all the time. Now we're getting adjustments on everything. Everything's an adjustment. How many of you are always shipping below 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters? And for my American friends, that's like 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches. How many of you are always shipping out that size? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Create a poll. Box size. All my packages are under 4 inches cubed. There we go. All right. Three choices. Three choices. So please let me know. Are all your packages always under 4 inches cubed? So 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Or no, you always adjustments are your thing because you're below that 10 centimeters. Or yeah, your morning mug of coffee, Funko Pops, comic books, sports memorabilia, booster boxes, all above that. All above that. Dear Whatnot, unless you are going to go back to being cards only. And you didn't even start out being cards only, so, and minifigures. I mean, yeah. Yeah, just yeah. That's all I have to say. Is that we can't sustain that, and what we need to do is start messaging Whatnot and saying you need to bring it up to 30 centimeters. We need to be at least close to 12 inches. Yes, absolutely. The F not. Yeah, I mean, how many of there's very few of us. So maybe there's like a ton of money flowing through with trading cards. Totally get that. And I am not going to buy brand new boxes anyways. I'm sorry, I will not buy brand new boxes to be within your 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. I will use up the boxes I have and do what I can. Indigo Health says I do mostly padded envelopes until September when I bring out the candles. Ooh, the candles. But even your packages, your padded envelopes, are they like small little things like this? I guess if you're selling like under eye patches or something that would fit, or samples. Yeah, 8 by 11 ish. Yeah. That's so like there's very few of us who sell within small little packages like this. I'm going to send you a t-shirt, but I'm going to squish it into a cube this big. Vacuum it into some sort of like cube thing. True North Collectible says even my bubble mailers are longer than 10 inches. Yeah, 10 centimeters. Kelly Irish, hello. Okay, so there's my question. Oh, so we have one person who has all their packages under 1 inch. So that's good. I'm glad for you. You is lucky. You're very lucky. All right. And hi, White Buffalo. How are you? Okay, so feel free to ask your questions and share your shows. Um, Vacuum Angie says vacuum sealer is now our friend. Glass may be a little crushed. Sorry. How do you get the free resources? So if you go into this this um you can actually scan this code on your phone and it will take you to the page that has all the links. And then within that I've got like 2025 goal planners. Let me just hang on. There we go. There's 2025 goal planner that's still valid, has month to month plans, brainstorming, idea. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And then there are a bunch of these stickers that you can use. You can print out yourself. as well as their thermal shock labels, one for summer and one for winter. For any of us who ship out, and there's some coloring. There's some coloring. Creative Chris, good morning. There's also some coloring pages because your girl started making coloring pages. Note to self, got to do that today. Add that to the list. Okay, so then the other option is in my show notes. Hang on. Oh, my show notes did not pop up. Please hold. There we go. Post. Okay. So now in my show notes, if you scroll down, where is it? Did I take it out? I did. I did take it out. Why did I take it out? Oh no, it's not in my show notes. It's in my profile. Right. So hang on. How do I view my own profile? Account, view profile. Okay, so at the almost at the very bottom of my profile, you will see bit.ly/m/the red rooster. If you type that in with all the capitals done correctly, sorry, that's a pain. The capital the red rooster. I'll just squish that up so you can see it again. But you can go to so you just have to, I wonder if you can copy. I can't copy on this phone, but you could probably take a screenshot and then copy the text from there. And then you just go to that link, and that link will also take you to the same thing. It's the same as my QR code there. True North Strong Collectible says, just scheduled my first exotic snack and soda show. Woo! Will be live from my retail store, Chill Soda Shop. Oh, I love it. Also have some exciting Ultimate Fight Club and hockey streams. All bookmarks are greatly appreciated. Everyone go check out True North Collectibles. I'm so excited for you. And Glow, North Carolina, good morning. How are you? If anybody who's come in, if you can answer the survey, your box sizes, if you're a seller, what size are your boxes? Are your boxes all under 4 inches cubed? Are they little boxes like this? Or are they bigger? And if you're unsure, because you can say that too. If you wouldn't mind answering that survey, that would be helpful. It would confirm what we already know, but sometimes that's a good thing. Okay, so that is done. Next up on the list, Ginger, good morning. Next up on the list is the wonderful world of Cup W. The union, let me pin it. Okay. There we go. The union is still, where is our QR code? Do you want this QR code? This one? That's the one that takes you, unless you go to my profile and just use that. If you want to make your own QR codes, you can through a bunch of free different apps, including Bitly. If you use Canva, there are a lot of free apps there that make QR codes for you. It's a lot of fun. And because Whatnot actually used to have a QR code. Yay, perfect, Kelly. Hi, good morning, Olga. Yeah, so I use Canva most of the time for making QR codes, unless I'm already making like a Bitly code to shorten it, because I do a lot of other things in the community, so I'm always using codes. I like QR codes. They make life easier. Especially when you're printing things. Good morning, Shauna. How are you? Shauna Treasures and Arts. Treasures and Art is in New Brunswick, and she's also a lobster fish person, a lobster fisherman. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, you know what I mean. I always trip over that every single time, Shauna. What is wrong with me? Good morning. And so maybe one day she'll be selling lobster on Whatnot, because you can. I might just ship you a whole bunch of like dry ice and stuff. Good morning, Dave. You snuck in there. Okay. What were we talking about? Yes. There's lots of people in New Brunswick. It is so exciting how many BC folks, we have Alberta, Manitoba is starting to grow very slowly. Saskatchewan, there's a little smattering. You overslept. Enjoy the oversleeping. It's almost mid-August, Dave, so enjoy it while you can. Um, and yeah, there's people everywhere. A lot of Ontario, of course. A fair number of Quebec, mostly in the Montreal area, and mostly doing clothes and stuff, which is interesting. Makes sense. Montreal was like kind of like a fashion capital of Canada for a while. Okay, back to Canada Post. Let me just finish this, end the poll. I'm gonna end the poll. The winner was adjustments. There's a couple from Northwest Territories, Nunavut. There's one person in Nunavut, Resolute Bay, Nunavut. You can look it up. You have to fly into it. Kelly Irish says, I'm in northern BC. First show on Sunday. No clue what I'm doing, but I'm trying to learn here and we'll give it a shot. That's exciting. First show on Sunday. Everybody follow and bookmark and check out their first show and support. Um, Shauna says, I lived in Moncton for 15 years, but now back in the country. I love how Moncton is not considered rural. We in Ontario, we'd be like, yep, you're under X number. You're officially rural. But not. No, I love that about New Brunswick. I've seen so many places. Moncton is, oh dear. I'm sorry to hear that. I haven't been in like a cajillion years to the Maritimes in general, and I miss going there. I miss the people. The people are awesome. The scenery is awesome, but the people are way more awesome. Okay. All right. Back to Canada Post. So the union wants to negotiate. Canada Post has not made an announcement yet. They said on Friday that they're weighing their options. Psst, it's Thursday. Hurry the F up. We're waiting. We are waiting and we are impatient and we want this over with. So like hurry the F up and make a decision. Angie says, hope a jewelry and purse show's coming up soon. Their basic purse is not high end. That's fine. I like a basic purse. I don't want a high end purse. I don't want that. I have one high end purse and cicadas. And it just stresses me out every time I use it, thinking I'm gonna wreck it. Um Kelly Irish asks a question. I have added a few things to my shop with live show. Do I add only auction items or buy it now or not clear? Okay, so Kelly, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So there's no single way to whatnot. There's no magic recipe that works. Yeah, it's buzzing out here. They're they're mating. Sorry. You get to hear the mating calls of little tiny bugs and I hate it. It's the sound of summer, and it's one of the things I hated as a kid because it actually really hurts me. Um, anyways, so back to Kelly. Um, so my recommendation is for your first few shows, loading up your shows is best and as early as you can. Um, so give yourself a goal of listing like 3 or 4 things every day or 5 things or 10 things like or just set aside like every day for half an hour before bed or after breakfast or whatever. I'm going to do some listing. You will find that you will get faster and faster if you do it on a regular basis. So and they're about to launch a new way to list that will be faster too. So there's more tools coming to make life easier for us to do faster listings. So there's all kinds of things coming down the pipeline. But in the meantime, practice makes perfect. And the best way is just to schedule every day that you list a few things into your shop, into your shows. Um, do you want to do auction or do you want to do buy it now? That is totally up to you. You could do both. You could have some things in the auction tab that you're auctioning and starting at lower amounts that hopefully people will bid up, but don't put it at any lower than what you're willing to let it go for, reminding yourself that your time, your shipping material costs, as well as the cost of the item have to be taken into account, plus your commission fees that you have to pay, whatnot, which if you're a Canadian seller right now are low, but only for like a month. a month more, a little bit less than a month now. I think it's September 7th that special promotion ends. And we'll be back up to 8%. So take advantage of it while you can. And there's the payment processing fees on top of that. So you got to think about that. So start it at the lowest amount that you're comfortable with. You can always start it, say $6 is what you need to get in order to make a little bit of profit. So start it at $10. And if nobody bites at $10, you could take it down to $8. And then if nobody bites at $8, then you could take it down to $6. And if nobody bites at that, then you just save it for the next show. So you can do that through the auction tab. You can also put things straight into your buy it now. And people can buy during, if they're bored while they're watching your auction, they can go into your buy it now and pick out things. You can also just do exclusively buy it now, pin things and show them, and the first person who hits buy it wins it. Or you can also do flash sales, and flash sales are available to everybody for your buy it now items. So you can create that fear of missing out by doing like a short term, for the next 3 minutes I'm going to have a flash sale on this item and I'm taking 25% off. That's another way to increase the excitement and the fear of missing out. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. If you want to do auction only, that's fine, and not put anything in your buy it now, that's fine. I suggest having even just a few things in your buy it now. Lightweight things are great because sometimes people will buy a lightweight thing from your buy it now and then buy an item because it psychologically it breaks their shipping, and they feel like it's going to be less for their shipping because they bought something that's lightweight. And there's all kinds of those kind of tricks that you can use to like encourage people to buy something lightweight out of your buy it now to help break their shipping. And then when they look on the screen, it's going to show them like 50 cents to ship this item, or only $1.50 instead of like $15 or $14 or $13 or $10, right? So, but yeah, I think that's a long way of saying it's totally up to you, Kelly. You decide. And if you start off doing auctions and you don't like it, then just do buy it now. If you do buy it now and you don't like it, you can do auctions. Like there's no set way of doing Whatnot, which is actually what makes Whatnot perfect, is that they give you so many different ways to sell. Shauna's Treasures and Art says lobster season starts next Monday. Bookmark her shows to come along, weather and reception permitting. So show date may vary. Oh, that is so exciting. So bookmark her lobster fishing, um, her lobster fishing shows. Oh yay! I got a like. Um, do. Andy says, and don't forget, you can always also import from show to show once started. Yeah, absolutely. So if as long as when you go into a show to catalog, and this is for Kelly and for everybody else listening, you have the choice of create a temporary listing or create a quality listing. Or you can import from inventory. So I can go in and pick out a bunch of things that are in my current inventory and add them to this show, just like that. I've added some more things to my show. There you go. See, added a few more things to my show. But if you are doing quality listings, you don't want to do temporary listing. And the reason why I'm saying don't do temporary listing unless it's during your show live on the fly and someone says, "Hey, I see that that road sign behind you. Can you run the road sign?" and you haven't already listed it, then you can do a temporary listing for it. Just a quick thing. Yeah, road sign, got it, entered it, and you can do a quick temporary listing. But otherwise, always hit create quality listing, because temporary listings, when the show ends, the temporary listings disappear if you didn't sell anything. So any of the work that you put into creating that temporary listing is gone, and you can't carry it over to another show. So try to create a quality listing when you're pre-listing all your items. Just Trista, bring it on. We have a license boat to pay. Peacock Jewelry says, I used to have amphibians and reptiles escape crickets all over the house. Oh my gosh. Kelly Irish says, I see a lot of $1 starts and that scares me. Ignore that. Ignore that. $1 starts are for people who have more. So either they have more money than brains, as my father used to say, or and we know a lot of people in this world like that, or they're trying to build their business, but this is a business loss that they're going to take, and they're able to afford to take that loss, because it will be months of negative numbers of you basically spending lots of money to ship something out to somebody. The other people who do it are big sellers who already have a huge following, and they don't need to worry um, that they're ever going to sell anything for $1 when they started at $1, because they'll always have somebody who will bid it up at least to $2. So do not start at $1. $1 starts, in my opinion, should be should be outlawed. No, they shouldn't be outlawed, because there are things that should just go for $1. But the thing about $1 starts is I also don't recommend doing them, because you're paying a payment processing fee that includes 30 cents per item. So a dollar becomes 70 cents before you've even paid commission and payment processing fee, the percentage of the payment processing fee, which is 2.9%. And the payment processing fee is 2.9% of the total of what someone spent. So if somebody buys something from you for $1, you may think, oh, that's like 2.9 cents. That's like 3 cents. No big deal. Yeah, but they also spent $19 to get that item shipped to them plus taxes. So that's $20 plus taxes. So then you got to math that. So that's like 30 cents, 60 cents. So you're down to like 10 cents that you made. Oh, wait, and then you have to pay commission. So never mind. You could be in the negative by doing that, because you also have to pay 2.9% payment processing fee on the total. So don't do $1 starts unless you can afford to do that. You can build your business. There are lots of successful people in Canada on this app who have built a successful whatnot business without ever doing $1 starts, except for maybe like a special rate or something, or a special event. True North Collectibles asks, is it possible to split shipping costs with the buyer? No, unfortunately not. Hopefully, hopefully soon, but there's no indication that it's happening. But in the US, they do have reduced shipping as well as free shipping options. I would love to see free and reduced shipping offered in Canada. I think some of us would offer to like take $5 off your shipping. Right now, the only way you can really do that is give people a coupon. Have a coupon code in your show and say, this is to help offset shipping. I've got a $5 off coupon. $5 off anything, $10 or more, or something like that. Um, and Kicked at Bid says, I find it insane how US buyers can buy from Canada for $12 Canadian shipping, but we have to pay $35 Canadian to buy from the US. Yeah, I don't know why there's that extra expense on the way up. I don't know what it is. I think part of it is that there's more customs, because most of our packages do end up going through customs, because technically our de minimis is $20. Not that that's always not that that's always followed. It usually is more like $70 where you start to get hit, but people are seeing it as low as $35 lately. But technically our de minimis exemption in Canada is $20. In the US it's $800. So I think that's part of it, is the Canadian part of the expense. I know when I had to ship something during the strike, I did a raid train show where I we did like a Santa exchange, and I paid for the shipping for the person in the US because I knew it was going to be insane, and it was like $50 to send a package up to Canada using the Brown company. Shauna says, I noticed last night on Storage Share that my Chit Chat shipping went up. Yes, Chit Chat's shipping has gone up. I've noticed that too. And a lot of people have mentioned that Chit Chats has gone up in price. Canada Post may end up going up in price too. Kelly Irish says, but a buy it now is not an auction item, but you can flash sale it. Yes, but you can also, let me show you. So a buy it now item, you can pin it to show people and say, hey, I've got this awesome thing in my buy it now. If anybody's interested, this is like a rare Tuppy Blue Mountain Pottery Tuppy vase with a tester glaze that he wanted to use and wanted to show how awesome it was and how gorgeous it was. It never really got traction. But then he took this glaze to his own company later on. Anyways, I'm going to run this. I'm going to run this as an auction. So you can actually go into an item. If I go into it, it gives me the option to unpin, edit, delete, start auction, or start flash sale. So I can actually start this as an auction item. So I'm going to start this for $240 for 10 seconds while I talk about it. So now I'm running this item as an auction, even though it's in my buy it now. So that is also an option. But wait, there's more. Then I can start a flash sale. So I've already created a flash sale. So I'm going to start a flash sale instead. So now there's going to be a flash sale for a minute that comes up. So with buy it now, I can run it as an auction and start it for less than my buy it now price to create excitement and like, ooh, look, discount. Ooh, I got a discount. I like discount. I'm going to get that discount. Um, but then once I've finished that auction, then it's back to the regular price. If somebody wants to buy it, they could always ask you to rerun it. Um, and also you can run it as a flash sale. Auction items you can't run as flash sales. So buy it now gives you those options. However, make sure that if you list something as buy it now and you want to do auction at some time in the future, that you list it as buy it now at the buy it now price. So think of it like on the bay, right? On the bay, you'll have an auction price and then you can put in a buy it now price, which is way higher than the usually is way higher. Like that's the price you want to get for it. So people can either buy it, try it auction, or they can just buy it outright. It's the same thing with buy it now. You want to put it at that higher price, and then when you run it as an auction you can run it for lower. Hey Taylor Pink, how are you? How was your show? Miss Snoopy, hello. Prairie Night says I can't wait to go lobster fishing. I know, thank you. Yeah, I saw that you had just another show. Taylor Pink is a new seller and it's just been like buttocks kicking buttocks, and I apologize, our timing yesterday was but thank you to everybody who's like, we had quite a number of people who stayed in and hung out. Like I think when you came back, we were almost at 20 still that were in your room as Taylor took a break. So that actually comes to a lesson, which is it's always good to have a little sign in the background. That's if you do need to like go and do something really quickly, either ask someone to co-host. If you have an experienced seller in the room that you trust, you can always co-host them and they can chat with folks while you go do a bio break or, you know, put the baby back down to sleep. Or you can put up a little sign that says like be right back. It can just be scribbled with like a pen on a piece of paper, but it helps to like so that people know, oh, this isn't a dead stream, they're coming back, because people do report dead streams. Shauna Turner says we're trying 84 wooden traps this year. Ooh, so it'll be interesting to see if they fish better. Go like the old fashioned, the old style, old school. I think that'll be really exciting to see. I assume you're not putting them out in rough seas. I don't know. I guess the benefit is that it's easier when you're manhandling them. It's easier not to break the metal ones. I assume that's why they switched. I don't know. Or this is just a game by the metal industry. Peacock says nothing like a chirping cricket you can't find. There are so many chirping crickets. Crickets. Yes, I don't like crickets either. Angie says $3 is a good start and an odd one at 2, but I cannot see doing $1 starts unless I don't care about a profit. Yeah, you're basically paying. If it's $1 start, you're paying someone. You basically are paying for that item, sending it out for free. I don't know what your father said to Dave, but you've taken over from his job in your old age. Are you also doing bad dad jokes? I'm waiting for my ex-husband to take over with bad dad jokes because his dad is like the ultimate bad joke My father ex-law is like the ultimate dad joke, bad, horrible dad joke guy on this planet. Like, you could just sit beside him for an hour and write 3 books, 3 joke books. Kicked at Bid says dollar starts can also prove that a seller is selling fake counterfeits. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. That's the thing, is like, I want to get into trading cards, but I don't know how to spot the fakes. And so I'm worried about accidentally selling somebody fake stuff because I don't know enough. I think you have to be really careful. Like Labubus. Labubus are huge, but because of the influx of fakes, which are being called Lafufus, um, like, I saw a kid and she had like four Labubus on her keychain and she was not treating them well. So I knew they must be Lafufus because mom didn't seem to care. But then mom was also wearing fake Gucci and fake this. So some people don't care about counterfeits, but the law does, and the law counts. Um, True North Collectible says, been taking a loss for nearly 6 months trying to build the stream with dollar starts. Definitely was scary at first. Taking a loss for 6 months, folks. Holy cow. However, it seems to be paying off. So yes, if you can afford to, take that loss for a while to build your business. You have to be consistent. You have to be good. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be able to market yourself. If you can do that stuff, if you got good product and you can market yourself and you can afford to take a loss for months, then you will build your business up faster in some categories with dollar starts. But in other categories, like, don't try to do that in vintage decor. Let me tell you, people will come back just for dollar starts. And if they don't see dollar starts, they're like outie. So you can't ever adjust out of being in that mode um, until you're like huge. So I don't recommend dollar starts at all. The end. TM. um, Peacock Jewelry says, my buyer's giveaways cost me a bit of money in fees. I was surprised. Oh, I guess your payment processing. Yeah, you have to pay a payment processing fee for that. Angie says, I plan to be more successful. You will be. Bidding Bees Shop. Good morning, Ella. Good morning. Kicked at Bid says, I buy all my products from the United States very cheap, but then you get hit with 19% and 15% customs border fees. Yeah, the border fees are crazy. And if you want to, there's a great website that I found, the Canada Tariff Finder. It's tarifffinder.ca. It's a joint initiative of the Business Development Canada, Economic Development Canada, the Government of Canada Trade Commission, and Government of Canada Services. And you can look up, it updates on a regular basis what the current, so you can find out if you're importing something, you can find out where you pick where it's coming from. So, but please note that's also the country of, and then I'm going to say like Lego. I wonder if that'll even show up. Wheeled toys, other. Oh my gosh. I hate the part of selecting the code. So you select the code and then it will tell you how much taxes you're going to pay. True North says the worst part is the $10 processing fee for taxing you and duties on top of it. Yeah. Dave from Alberta says his Chit Chats prices have almost doubled. So I'm glad I'm not with Chit Chats then, because that would be scary. I think it's because this whole what's going on in the States has really affected their business, and they have to up their fees, because if this de minimis exemption removal goes through on the 29th, Chit Chats will be in real trouble. In my personal opinion. The Collector's Vault. How are you? Goofy, good morning. Hickville Junk Rescue and Harris Singles and Thrifted Studio and Jespian and Whimsy and Wonders, good morning. So Jespian asks, a quick question. If you tag someone in hide mode, does the tagged person still see it? Do you mean if you, so if you're saying, like, let's see. Let's actually test it. Like if you are a moderator, and you say in this hide mode, which is what moderators and can get. Let's see. At Jespian is great. Did I spell that right? Yes. Okay, send. All right, so I've hidden it. So the only people who should be able to see it um are my mods. Did you get a notification that I tagged you? That'll be the question. Oh, Dave also tried it. Thank you, Dave. Um Very nice. What does the seller do when an item shows up to a buyer broken? Ask them to to contact Whatnot support to get a refund, and then they'll go through the refund process with Whatnot. And it may come out of your account. I also suggest that what you do is that you message your buyer and say, "I'm so sorry. Here's a coupon for next time. I pride myself on good shipping, and I'm sorry." Whatnot will ask for pictures. Always ask for pictures too. Like, oh my gosh, can I see a picture of that? Can you show me the box? Like, what happened? Because you also want to know what happened. Okay, so Indigo Health says, if you run an auction that was buy it now, does the app confirm the inventory count? So avoid someone buying it as auction and the bins. Yes. So you can't, when it's running as an auction, you can't buy it in the buy it now at the same time. You can only just bid on it. So it moves temporarily over to being just auction, and then it goes right back after the auction is over if it doesn't sell. So yes, Daisy, hello. Um, True North Collectible says dollar starts only seem to be good for PYT. I don't know what that is. Once you have enough following. That's true. Peacock says one of my buyers giveaways cost me $3.44. Maybe it was extra shipping. Yeah, probably. Sounds like it. Dave says the doubling of chit chats made it about the same as Canada Post for my area. Interesting. Peacock says I can't buy from chit chat sellers because it's $24 now. I wonder how much more it is. Eek. True North Collectible says I paid $28 in giveaway shipping to Australia last week, but that's cool. You got to send something to Australia. Oh, sorry, Angie. There we go. Melody, good morning. How are you? Okay, so it doesn't seem like Jespian got the message. The other thing is the other hide mode, and Jespian may have not been able to wait. The other hide mode is if I said Jespian PayPal test. So I'm gonna say Jespian PayPal test because PayPal should be blocked. So then it'll be interesting to find out. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to do Dave from Alberta, Venmo. There. Okay. So I just sent Dave, I just sent you a message. Did you get a notification up at the top? Let's also try who else is in here who's not a mod that I know. Okay, Angie, I'm going to take it away from you momentarily. Hang on. And then I'm going to do at Angie's this and that PayPal. Okay, Angie, I just unmodded you for a second so I could check out something. Did you get a notification that I said this thing that I said that you can't see right now because you should be temporarily unmodded? Okay, so there you go. So Jespian, if you're in the room, if somebody if somebody says something inappropriate and it red chats it, the person will not get a notification that they got tagged in a post. Thank you for checking that. I can put you back on mod. Thank you also to Dave for checking. So interesting. Now the other hidden mode that Whatnot has that she could be talking about but I don't think so, is you can be incognito mode where you can come into shows, but it won't announce like that Silverbridge and Little Big Town just arrived. It won't say that. It won't say that you joined, but you can still chat and everything. It wouldn't count under that. It would if you tag somebody or if you tag someone who's hidden, they would still get a notification. If their notifications are turned on. Oh, if only if their notifications are turned on. Okay. All right. So hopefully I answered that one. Are there any questions I missed because I was so busy doing this little test? You bought That's interesting. Peacock says I bought jewelry from Australia for only $18. Yeah, I've noticed that like buying from the UK and Australia is fairly inexpensive for Canadians. So I think that's an opportunity. Until you bid or get an or oh well, it doesn't announce you if you have it turned off. You have to go into the rewards club settings. You can turn off that it'll show that um you can turn that part off. So there's incognito mode, but if you don't want it announcing that you have got egg, then you need to turn that off too so that nobody can see. No one will be able to see whether you have egg or not in my shows. So most people who come into my shows end up with egg pretty quickly because I'm on here every morning. So almost every morning. Oops, what am I doing? I'm in the wrong stream. Okay, now I'm officially hot. Yeah, so you can turn that off if you want to. If you don't want people to know what you are. Um, oh, Dave says the line I was referring to that my dad used too much is more money than brains. Yeah, I don't use it very often, but that's what my dad used to say about people, especially when I'd be like, "Oh, look how cute that car is," or "Isn't that a nice house?" And he'd say, "That person has more money than brains." My father always felt that it was better to be cash in the bank, rich, and house poor. So don't worry too much about your house unless it's an investment property that you can sink too much money and then you have nothing to you have no savings. It's all in your house. And like we're in a bubble, we're in a real estate bubble right now. I think it's the states are also in a real estate bubble in most areas. Um, is it going to come crashing down? I hope the fork not, because there's a lot of money invested in this place. Because use a lot. Yes, there are a lot of people who yeah, there's a lot of people who you can tell that like one of the things I actually want to talk about is toxic selling. And toxic selling is you know you have a buyer who comes into your show, and I've seen some sellers who, very few thankfully, but I've seen some sellers who will sell to people knowing that person personally and knowing that person has issues with money, um and then we'll see them buying in their show and enthusiastically encourages them to buy more, and like they don't actually care about the individual. I care about you, and I want you to only buy what you need when you need it. And like if you buy one thing from my show and it wasn't like some humongous amazing deal, I'll message you and say like if you want to cancel, go ahead. I can bundle it into another show. I do that. Even if I don't know if you're having money problems or not, I just think that it's the right thing to do. So Peacock, there are a lot of times that you end up with very personal connections with your buyers where you become friends off whatnot. And so then more. And we end up in our little circles, right? So like there's a lot of circles that like cuz the circle grows and grows and grows and you meet new people and then you meet another circle. So when you start to actually know about somebody and then you're in a show and you see them being taken advantage of because a person is like exploiting their inability to stop buying, um yes, they're an adult and it's up to them whether or not they do it, and et cetera, yada, yada, yada. But that's a good old capitalism response. And I think that if you want to build community, I don't want anyone to open up a box of mine and feel like, oh shit, why did I buy this? Other than why did I buy this? Oh yeah, it was so cheap. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, oh God, why did I buy all this jewelry? Oh, right, because it was all so cheap. And I just wanted this one thing. Okay, I got the one thing. The rest of the stuff will go in a box, right? That's different. But I don't want it. I want to ever exploit creeds. Did I say that right? Creeds, cards. I have a question. Do you know if I need to register as a business selling on Whatnot, or what the threshold would be? So, creeds, cards. I assume you're located in Canada. Um, in the US, it's state by state whether or not you should register as a business. Ontario. Okay, so in Ontario, you would basically be the equivalent of a sole proprietorship. So unless you have registered creeds, like you want to register creeds cards as a business, so nobody else takes that name. It doesn't trademark the name, but it just makes it easier for you to say, I was the first. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a lot of Creeds cards, but you never know. Um, so you can do that. That's like $90, I think, for 5 years, 3 or 5 years. I can't remember. I don't know. Every once in a while, I get a notification that I need to update it. Um, so you can do that, but it's not a requirement to apply to Whatnot. Whatnot your pays pays the buyer's GST. So any GST that's collected, Whatnot collects directly. You don't see that, so you don't have to report GST. However, if you are spending money in Canada to buy inventory or buy equipment and everything else, then you can you can claim GST. So you can send in GST returns and say, okay, I sold all these things on Whatnot. I didn't collect any GST, but here's the GST I spent to buy all this stuff for my business in the past few months. So it does have benefits in that sense to get a business number and like an HST number. So there is that benefit to registering with the Canadian Revenue Agency as a sole proprietorship or as Creed's cards. You'll have to look into that. I'm not a business. I've run businesses, but I am not a business expert in that way, or a legal expert. But you can look into it. You can also contact your local. There's like um, especially in Ontario, there's a whole bunch of little small business um, organizations that help small businesses get developed, and like under Business Development Canada and Business Development Ontario. So you can look into that, and they will give you all kinds of details. There's pros and cons, but if you're planning on going big on Whatnot, then I would recommend registering the name and also getting a business number if you're spending a lot of money in Canada to for your business. Then you want to be able to claim that GST and get it back. Indigo Health says, I've watched shows and some customers say they are broke or just bought yesterday and really shouldn't buy until next week. Yeah, yeah, and then there they are buying. Now I know, like, if I if you don't know them personally, it's hard to just kind of say. But if I heard that, I'd be like, "Well, honey, don't worry, you can wait. If it doesn't sell, if nobody else buys it, you can always say to that person, I can set it aside for you if you want, right? You can do that. Like if someone says, I'm getting paid next week and then I'll be able to get it, then you can always say I'll set it aside if you want to. But at the same time, you'd be like, well, you know what, it's cute and everything and you love it, but you don't have to, you don't need it. I mean, I would just, but that's the mom in me. That's not the salesperson. This is why I'm not a billionaire. Kelly Irish says, another question. I'm not going to say the other word because it's not. Lots of people ask this. During my show, I manage it from my laptop and phone at the same time. Totally up to you. You can run it with just one device. I recommend having a second device, whether that's a phone, a tablet, or a laptop. Um, I highly recommend that you have a second device. It makes life easier. You're not boinking on the screen like this. Right? Sorry. Now I've bumped on a whole bunch of people's names and So it was tagging all of you. Send. There we go. Um, so it makes it's bouncy, right? Like when I do that, that bounced. When I did that, it's bouncy, even if you've got a really heavy phone holder. Mine's not the greatest, and it's also up high. Um, so I recommend having a second phone. I, for the first 2 years, didn't have a second, almost 2 years, didn't have a second phone. So for like a year and a half, I only was running off of one phone for most of my show. And people survived and people bought from me. Um, so I always had a laptop that was somewhere in the house that I could run to if I needed to, but I didn't always have a laptop open and ready. And it's totally up to you. If you're a one person show, a laptop might be helpful. Um Hopefully that answers your question. Creed's card says, I will have to do some digging because I'm almost at 10K sales. Awesome. Congratulations. Bought a bunch to make those though, and just didn't want any surprises come tax time. Yeah, totally understand that. Totally understand that. Okay, it's almost 11 o'clock. So everybody share where you're from and what you sell. Um, and then I will find someone to raid. I gotta check because I got another message. I swear, I never. So everyone, share where you're from and what you sell, so we can all follow each other. And I'm gonna see who there is that we can raid. Unless there are other, you could feel free to ask another question. You're totally, totally, totally welcome to ask another question. Okay, and I know who we're gonna go into. Creed's Cards is in Ontario, sports cards and collectibles. And Kelly Irish is in northern BC with vintage decor. I love it. And I'm in near Hastings, Ontario. By the way, we have the Hastings Waterfront Festival on Saturday, August 16th. Come out and join me. We're going to have a blast all day. Free music, classic cars. There's a huge show and shine, kids' activities, live music performers. There's performances from Blades of Glory with Knights versus Pirates. There's free axe throwing. You can do axe throwing. Um, what else is there? There's environmental displays. There are there's just a ton. There's a ton everywhere. It's just everywhere. It's all over the place. It's going to be amazing. Oh, okay. All right. Last call to share your shows or ask questions, and it's okay to ask questions. And then I am going to find us this person that I've already forgotten their name. That's special, Kim. Um, Angie's This and That says, I'm in Listowel, Ontario, sell a variety of items and also run a family fashion and accessories raid train. Looking for people to join. Always a great train. It's an amazing train. Quinn B, hello, how are you? It is definitely a great train, so do check it out. You can high Q gems. Okay. So do check it out. We're going to go into a gem seller next. Newer seller. I had not seen them on here before. Or I think I saw them yesterday. They've only got 3 people in the room. It's a quickie in Canadian dollars. I don't think that's what it, I don't think she means what, you know, but anyways, let's go in, show some love. Good morning, Quinn. We're going to show some love and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I am going to do the topic. Oh, there's Howland Girl. She says, I'm in Kenora, Ontario, and I'm looking into selling. Yay. Awesome. Well, welcome, Holland Girl. We want you as part of Whatnot. So welcome in. There's lots of people in the north part of Ontario. So you're in great company. Okay. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to be talking about attracting buyers, turning that into sales.